Hello everyone, I am Vexillographer, and welcome to This Month in Flag News. Today's episode was sponsored by the awesome website Skillshare, full of thousands of online courses you can take to learn graphic design, animation, video editing, video filming, tons of awesome stuff. And Skillshare is offering you, Vexillographer fans, 2 entire months for free of Skillshare courses. I would take advantage of this, details later, but first, let's get to the news. Our first story comes from the United States state of Wisconsin. You know what's worse than the flag of Wisconsin? The flag of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. So how in the world did this happen? Well, this thing came into existence in the 1950s. You see, the city had an actual flag design contest in the 1950s, but they didn't like any of the designs that were submitted. So this one city official took multiple elements of multiple designs and combined them into one flag. And that's how this happened. Let's go over some of the highlights, shall we? We've got a baseball stadium that no longer exists because it was demolished 17 years ago. We have a stereotypical Native American's head. We've got, of course, 1846, the date that the city was incorporated. Very important, of course. And of course, the flag needs to remind you what it's representing because it's so confusing. So it has the name Milwaukee on it. And I am not even kidding, it has another flag inside of it. There's an actual flag on the flag. Thankfully, a lot of people in Milwaukee know they need a new flag. In fact, a couple years ago, in 2016, a bunch of residents got together and started their own unofficial flag design contest for Milwaukee. And at the end of that contest, this came out as the winning design, and it represents the city so much better. You've got this golden yellow color here, which resembles the color of beer, which makes sense because Milwaukee is famous for its many breweries. You've got this white color, which represents not only unity, but also the snowy winters that Milwaukee gets a lot. And these 3 light blue stripes here not only represent the 3 rivers of the city, they also are a reference to the 3 original settlements that eventually became the modern city of Milwaukee. It just works really well. And since the flag contest ended a couple years ago, people in Milwaukee are really getting to use this flag. People are flying this in their homes. Businesses have started to use it. This one guy painted it on his bike. It's really catching on in Milwaukee. So obviously, maybe the city should officially adopt it. Instead of it just being unofficial, maybe they should make it official. And city residents have been trying to get the city council to do this for the past couple years. Well, last month, it finally made its way to a city council vote. And what was the decision? They decided to not make that decision. So they didn't exactly say no, but they didn't really say yes either. They basically voted to have the Milwaukee Arts Board determine by the end of the year if the city needs a new flag. Does the city need a new flag? Yes. If the Arts Board, which I assume has people who know a thing or two about art and design, if the Arts Board can't figure this out, then Milwaukee, you not only need a new flag, you need a new Arts Board. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Our next story comes from the nation of Russia, where, as you probably know, they were hosting the FIFA Men's World Cup for the past couple months. Basically, the world's biggest sporting event, most popular sporting event. Fans from all over the world came to Russia to cheer on their country's teams, wave their country's flag, including a lot of LGBT fans who wanted to cheer on their country's teams with their country's flag, but also they wanted to show off their famous rainbow flag celebrating LGBT communities around the world. Well, little problem with that. Russia is not very fond of LGBT people, as you probably know, and they made it a little worse a few years ago in 2013 when Russia's government passed a very discriminatory law that basically made it illegal to even talk about LGBT topics, and they basically made this famous rainbow flag illegal, calling it propaganda. So this is nothing new for the Russian government. You may keep in mind, this is the same government whose ruling party a few years ago came up with this straight pride flag, they called it, because one of their leaders said, and I quote, "We must prevent gay fever in our country and support traditional values." Gay fever, of course, that's a thing now. So yeah, everyone, be careful when handling the rainbow flag or you might catch gay fever. And especially be careful when holding the flag of Alaska, because you might catch a cold. Now, back in November, as the World Cup was slowly approaching, this one Russian official told the media, "There will definitely be no ban on wearing rainbow symbols in Russia. It's clear you can come here and not be fined for expressing feelings." Well, turns out there were some unfortunate incidents with LGBT fans. When the World Cup actually came, for example, on June 15th, a French gay couple was attacked and robbed, and on June 24th, a supervisor at one of the stadiums actually confiscated a British fan's flag with a rainbow design on it. Come on. However, there were some creative fans who cleverly got around this discriminatory law. For example, this group of Danish fans showed up to a Denmark match, and they wore 6 different colors of their jersey. That was pretty clever. But my favorite one, I think, was this group of 6 friends from 6 different countries around the world who decided to come to the World Cup in Moscow, and they wore a jersey from each of their countries. And those countries were, in order, Spain, the Netherlands, Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, and Colombia. That's right, these guys came up with a brilliant plan to make a human version of the rainbow flag without using an actual flag. That was pretty clever, that was pretty cool to see, and those were pretty cool pictures, seeing them walking around Moscow defying that law. It was pretty cool. Unfortunately, of course, one of them was detained and interrogated for 15 hours. And just a few days ago, another group of LGBT activists were arrested and detained in St. Petersburg. So it's pretty clear Russia's government is still afraid of whatever gay fever is. But the message is still getting out there here and there. Our next story comes from the United States state of Wisconsin. Yes, again. But this time it comes from the state's capital city, Madison. The city of Madison, Wisconsin just adopted a brand new city flag, which is slightly different from the one they had earlier. We'll get to that pretty soon. But this is the current new flag of Madison, adopted on July 24th. So it's just a couple weeks old or so. And it's a really brilliant design. For an American city flag, this is one of the best ones I've ever seen. So you've got this reference to how the downtown part of Madison, Wisconsin is on an isthmus, which is a geographic term for a piece of land, kind of like Panama, that has water on 2 sides. It's a really weird geography that Madison has going on for it, and they included it in their flag, and it looks really cool. Those 2 blue areas represent lakes, let me see if I can get this right, Lake Mendota and Lake Monona. Please correct me, any Madisonites watching, if I said that wrong. And of course, the white area represents the downtown part of the city that's on that isthmus. And this interesting black and yellow compass-looking shape represents the architecture of the state capital of Wisconsin, which is right there on that isthmus. It's a great-looking flag, simple and symbolic. Well done, Madison. So what did the flag look like before a few weeks ago? Well, here's the previous version. Now, you'll notice that symbol looks a little familiar, doesn't it? Well, for me especially, because my home state is the state of New Mexico, where that symbol comes from. Now, how in the world did this happen? Well, this is a kind of a crazy story, and it's kind of hilarious. Okay, so here's what happened. This symbol here that you can see on the New Mexico state flag and the old Madison flag, this symbol is a religious symbol representing the sun, among many other things, that comes from the Zia Pueblo Nation, which is just about an hour away from me. So this symbol of the sun has been used by the Zia Nation here in New Mexico for over 800 years. And it's used in their religious ceremonies, it's used on a lot of their pottery. So how in the world did this happen to get to Madison, Wisconsin? Well, in 1962, when the flag was adopted, the designers of the flag referred to this symbol as an Indian sun symbol. Just... Apparently they heard somewhere that this was an Indian sun symbol, and they thought, hey, let's honor the Indian nations of Wisconsin by putting the sun symbol on there. Well, that's not exactly how it works, guys. You can't just take a symbol from one Indian nation and use it to represent any Indian nation on the continent. That's not how it works. It's like saying this is a European symbol, and anyone in Europe can use this symbol. Or calling this a Middle Eastern symbol and using it for anyone in the Middle East. You're gonna run into some problems there. Or using this as an East Coast symbol, and anyone from the East Coast will love this symbol. No. The different nations of North America are different from each other. It's a whole continent of diversity, guys. And you took a symbol from an Indian nation that is, and I checked this on the map, almost exactly 1,000 miles away from Madison, Wisconsin. A ton of organizations and businesses started to slap their symbol everywhere after 1925, when the state of New Mexico adopted this as its official flag. So this flag of New Mexico was designed by an archaeologist who found the symbol on a piece of Zia pottery and thought it would look nice on a flag. So the state of New Mexico adopted it, and it's been slapped everywhere since then. They've put it on motorcycles, they've put it on alcoholic drinks, they've even put it on portable toilets. And a lot of these people who just put it everywhere don't always ask permission from the Zia Pueblo if they can use it. And obviously, the Pueblo Nation isn't too thrilled about that. Thankfully, in more recent decades, big corporations and organizations will usually ask permission from the Zia before using it on random things, and usually the Zia will work out a deal with them. But obviously, Madison, Wisconsin in 1962 didn't contact him. There's an entire continent of different nations. There are hundreds of different Indian nations in North America, and they just decided to use this one thinking, oh, Indians will love this. So thankfully, about a year ago, Madison, Wisconsin elected its first Native American city council member, and she kind of knows a thing or two about this kind of thing, so she actually contacted the lieutenant governor of the Zia Pueblo Nation. They had a talk, and they basically came to an agreement. Yeah, Madison needs to fix this thing. So she got together with another city council member in Madison, and just finally, last month, they finally got the city council to update it by replacing it with a yellow circle. So now it's not only a brilliant design with the geography and everything, but now it actually makes sense. So that's what happened. That's how that happened. Anyway, good job, Madison. It still is a brilliant design. One of my favorite American city flags. Great job. I just have one more request, Madison. Please teach Milwaukee a thing or two. They need your help. Now, before I get to our final story today, I gotta talk about our sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is that amazing online learning community where you can go to learn a lot of cool stuff. For example, if you want to learn about Inkscape, that program I use to draw all these cool flags for that one animation, they've got classes on Inkscape you can take. If you want to learn about After Effects, the program I make all these motion graphics in, they've got classes on After Effects. I even used one of those classes to make that cool intro effect you saw at the beginning of this video. Seriously, Skillshare has some amazing stuff. Premium membership will get you access to high-quality classes taught by experts in their field, and at only $10 a month, it's already one of the more affordable options out there. But for you awesome flag nerds today, Skillshare is offering you 2 entire months for free. That's right, 2 entire months of Skillshare Premium, and all you need to do to get it is to go to the link in the description below. Just click on that link and you can sign up for Skillshare and learn something new for 2 entire months. That's a pretty good deal, I think. So go to that link in the description below, but act fast because it's only for the first 500 people to go to that link and sign up. So act fast and learn something new at Skillshare. Seriously, guys, check it out. And our final flag news story comes from the European country of France. Now, as you probably know, Bastille Day is the French national holiday celebrated on July 14th. So, this last Bastille Day, they had a big old celebration in Paris. They got tons of people, they got the French president, they got visiting dignitaries, the whole thing. Big old Bastille Day celebration. And they had a cool idea with the French Air Force. So they got these 9 jets that were going to make a French flag in the sky, leaving behind colored trails in the air. It was a cool idea, and it's pretty simple execution, right? You got 3 jets that were going to shoot out blue, 3 jets that were going to shoot out white, and 3 jets leaving behind a trail of red for the French flag in the sky. Sounds great. How did they pull it off? It's 3 colors, guys. It's it's a 3-colored flag. How do you mess that up? You had one of the jets supposed to leave behind blue, left behind red instead. How did you mess that up? The French Air Force on their National Day messing up their own flag for everyone to see, all of Paris to see, for the president to see. That was an entertainingly embarrassing mistake there. And thankfully we got a funny short-lived meme out of it. A bunch of people making fun of the new French flag, apparently. Who cares about the old tricolor? We've got a quatre color now. anyway, I just found that hilarious. Nice job, friends. Nice job, French Air Force. Anyway, this has been This Month in Flag News. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day, and au revoir.